As you may know, we recently added 4 new tools of prosperity to the Financial UA website. One of our new tools of prosperity is to develop a recovery shrine or a recovery laboratory. So we're going to talk about exactly how to do that, what it is, and what benefit it offers to you by using this particular tool of prosperity. So for all that and more, stay tuned. Hey, welcome. My name is Jay from Baltimore, Maryland, and I want to welcome you to the Financial UA General Service Office. So come on in and grab a seat, and let's get this meeting started. Before we start talking about today's topic, I just want to encourage you to consider getting a qualified Financial UA sponsor if you have not done so already. A qualified Financial UA sponsor is somebody who's already done a significant amount of the Financial UA step work under the guidance, mentorship, and coaching of another qualified Financial UA sponsor. And if you need a little bit of extra help with getting a qualified Financial UA sponsor, I want to encourage you to consider attending any of the Financial UA 12-step workshops. Those workshops are currently moderated and facilitated by qualified Financial UA sponsors. Those workshops, currently focusing on the 12-step work, are held on Tuesday evenings and also on Friday evenings at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Additionally, you may also find a qualified Financial UA sponsor on Saturday evenings leading the Traditions Workshop, and that is also held at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. We are always expanding our foundation of qualified Financial UA sponsors, and the best way again to find them is to attend a step working workshop. In Financial UA, we focus on creating and holding space for healing and recovery. In our virtual Financial UA meetings held over our phone conference line, we create and hold space for healing and recovery. When a sponsor works with a sponsee, we create and hold space for healing and recovery. When we gather together to work on our steps or to attend a live recovery boot camp, or any other arrangement where people are coming together in fellowship or sistership within Financial UA, we are always creating and holding space for healing and recovery. The value of a Financial UA recovery laboratory or recovery shrine, we are taking that idea of creating and holding space and turning it into a physical thing. So in an actual physical space, we are creating and holding space for healing and recovery. For example, in the Financial UA General Service Office here in Baltimore, Maryland, we have literally created a space for healing and recovery to help people to heal from financial under-earning and to help develop and support the Financial UA program as a whole on an administrative level. So we create and hold space with our website. Our website is a virtual space that we have created, and within that space we hold recovery. We create an opportunity for people to recover and heal from financial under-earning. And in this office space, we are also creating and holding this physical space for healing and recovery, to perpetuate this idea that our members can recover from financial under-earning. Now, there are a couple of key components which helps to create a recovery shrine or a recovery laboratory. How you create a space and a work environment that allows you to do your recovery work at the highest quality level. It's a space that in many ways is very spiritual, it's very sacred, and it's committed and dedicated to helping to further your program and your goals of achieving your highest level of prosperity with achieving your visions and to develop your financial success. We have a couple of suggestions for things you can do to help make this physical space much more functional so that it serves you and it helps to further your recovery process by making sure you have all the tools and all the items you need to help you be as successful as possible. Let's talk about what this physical space actually looks like. Now, you can choose either a recovery shrine or a recovery laboratory. It doesn't matter which. And you can choose something or develop something that's a combination of both, or something that maybe is different but still serves the same purpose. Again, we're focusing on the purpose of the space you create and the idea that you want to fill it with all the tools you need to help you to be successful, and also that the space in some way for you personally is sacred and spiritual, meaning that it is welcoming and conductive of this idea of channeling higher power, of channeling earning power, and helping you to channel it in the most prosperous way possible. People often take how they behave in recovery out into the real world. So as you cultivate your spiritual work ethic in the recovery setting, you will also take that spiritual work ethic with you into the real world setting. So in the recovery space, it's a really good opportunity to practice what you want your spiritual office to look like, what you want your spiritual workspace to look like. And the more you practice that and develop it, the easier it will be for you to take that and create it once again in an actual workspace where you're getting paid. Let's talk about the practical items that can serve you well in your recovery shrine or recovery laboratory. Now, your recovery shrine is more of a spiritual space, more of a holy space, where you create this environment where you feel very close to your higher power and you feel that you can channel that spiritual energy in the most effective way. A recovery laboratory is a little bit more like a spiritual workspace, and you conduct experiments to see if those traditions and steps and the spiritual principles they represent can be applied to real-world situations. In your recovery shrine, as well as your recovery laboratory, I would encourage you, as you develop your spiritual practices, whether you are following through on a spiritual routine or conducting a spiritual experiment, I would encourage you to document the things that you learn, the things that you observe, and to keep those notes in your prosperity notebook. Perhaps you might even have a prosperity pen. Well, in your recovery workspace, you might have your prosperity notebook and your prosperity pen in a specific area. That way, anytime you want to do some recovery work, all of the things that you need to get that work done are all present and available and easy to get access to. They're not lost and you don't have to go searching for them all over the place. All of your items are in one space. I would also encourage you to keep your recovery laboratory or your recovery shrine tidy and neat, because it makes it easier for you to find the things you need to get your spiritual work done. Now, in your spiritual space, your recovery laboratory or your recovery shrine, you might consider doing your step work in that space. You might consider praying in that space. You might consider calling up your sponsor or taking outreach calls, or maybe even doing interviews with other members in recovery in this space. So you might want to have your telephone handy, or you might want to have a cell phone handy. That way you can take calls and receive calls, do outreach, and you have all of your tools right in one location to get your recovery work done. Here in the Financial UA General Service Office, I have this space set up so that it allows me to do the work of administratively handling the business of the Financial UA program. And also, it is set up as a recovery laboratory where I have the business telephone, personal cell phone, earbuds. I also have envelopes and note cards. This is really great to have some 3x5 index note cards. These are one of our tools of prosperity. And I also have prosperity envelopes so that as new ideas or visions or goals are developed, we can write down what those look like on the note card, put it into the envelope, and put a little bit of money inside the envelope, and thus use our tool of envelopes and note cards. So I always keep envelopes and note cards right here in the recovery laboratory. I also have a couple of computers so that I can access our YouTube videos or the Financial UA website. This makes it easy to find all the information I need as we're doing our recovery work together. I also have plenty of pens handy, scissors, tape, whatever office items I need to get the work done. Here in this recovery space of the Financial UA Service Office, we also have a couple of plants because I think it's always a really great idea, since we're creating and holding a spiritual space, that we want to fill it with things that are actually alive and they thrive and bring natural energy to the environment. Also in the Financial UA General Service Office, I have a couple of my vision boards. Again, these are tools of prosperity that we use in the Financial UA program. This is an image of my very first ever vision board that I made about 16 years ago, with a luxury convertible car and private jet and travel, exotic locations, nice artwork, places for nice restaurants. This is a vision board that I made a few years ago when I was doing a lot of international traveling. I went scuba diving and swam with sharks, used to ride a motorcycle, swam with sea turtles, and kept a lot of organic, exotic orchids and other tropical plants. So again, this was also an image that showed how much prosperity I could look forward to and what I wanted my prosperous future to look like. I, of course, would encourage you to develop what you think a vision board would look like for you. In Financial UA, we also utilize the tool of a spiritual council. This is also one of our tools of prosperity. And what a spiritual council is, it's an opportunity to pick individuals who are entrepreneurs or business leaders or visionaries or somehow creative in their own particular field. Additionally, they have internal qualities of character, perhaps that you admire. They might be your personal heroes. So for me, I have a number of different individuals. I was able to find an image of each one of these people off of the internet and print them out, and that way I can have my council of members, and they all represent positive qualities to me. These are people who contain particular character attributes that I would like to develop more within myself. In the middle of your spiritual council, I always encourage you to have a photograph or a picture of your childhood self. And this is a picture of my childhood self. The reason why is because in recovery, we're always doing work, and part of what our recovery looks like is healing and parenting our wounded inner child. So whatever that looks like to you, there's a part of you that is always innocent, vulnerable, pure, and deserving of love. And all the work that we do and all of the sponsors we select and all of the step work and tradition study are all about helping us to be the best possible person to take this inner child and move them forward into becoming a productive, prosperous, healthy, and positive grown-up in this world. The reason why I have my spiritual council surrounding my inner child is so that I always remember that my inner self is protected and parented by all of the role models and the spiritual mentors I look towards, that they all work together to surround and protect, nurture, and you might even say to sponsor my inner childhood self. Now, of course, I encourage you to select whomever you wish to be a part of your spiritual council. You may choose men or women, they may be living or they may have passed. The important thing is that you choose people that you would like to be like. people who, if you could channel their earning power, you could channel their recovery or their imagination or creativity or leadership skills or strength of character or any heroic qualities that they possess. You could turn to them and channel them through your imagination and ask them to help channel your higher power, to help channel your earning power, to guide and direct you towards your highest good and towards your highest level of prosperity. If you are interested in learning more about the tool of a spiritual counsel, I would encourage you to click right up here to watch a video about the spiritual counsel. In this spiritual space of healing and recovery that you have created within your recovery shrine or your recovery laboratory, you might propose questions that you can then submit to your spiritual counsel. And just like in our video about developing and using a spiritual counsel, you can take a question, propose it to each member of your spiritual counsel, and imagine what kind of positive feedback they might offer you. You can also do your step work in this space or your traditions work in this space. You can sponsor other people from within this space. You can work on your envelopes and note cards. You can develop your treasure map or your vision board. This is a great space for you to bring everything together so that in this space you are focused on your recovery without any other distractions. And it is a space that is sacred and meaningful for you. If you have a recovery shrine, you may place other icons or images or other objects that are very meaningful and spiritual for you personally. Here in the Financial UA General Service Office, I also have a couple of extra office chairs within the office so that if we have visitors or perhaps people that I sponsor or people that just need some help with their finances, they could come visit and we could sit down and do some work together. Now it's time for our 7th tradition. Every Financial UA meeting ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. There are no dues or fees for Financial UA membership. All of our meetings and workshops are completely free to attend, both over the phone and face-to-face. Please keep in mind that we do have expenses, such as covering the cost of our website, developing new literature, and maintaining our service office. If you would like to make a 7th tradition donation, you can click the PayPal link below or visit our website at financialua.org and click the Donate button. You may also support this program by purchasing a copy of our Financial UA 12-Step Workbook or our Financial UA 12 Traditions Workbook. You can also help us carry the message by subscribing to our channel and even by sharing this video with your sponsor or your sponsee. Lastly, please consider clicking that like button. Thumbs up for service. Now's the time for sharing. Who'd like to take a share? In the comments section below, please share your experience, strength, and hope around the idea of developing a recovery shrine or a recovery laboratory. Which did you choose, or did you develop something different but similar? How did you use your recovery shrine or your recovery laboratory? What kind of items did you have in that space? Share as much as you feel comfortable in the comment section below. The nice part about taking a share is that when you share, other people can learn from your experience. In any spiritual program, everybody's a student and everybody is a teacher. And that way everybody wins. Additionally, if you found value in this video talking about developing a recovery shrine or a recovery laboratory, I want to encourage you to consider clicking the like button and give us a big thumbs up for service. You may also consider clicking the subscribe button. By subscribing to this channel, Financial UA, you help us to carry the message. As we move towards closure, please visit us at www.financialua.org or email us at financialua@gmail.com. Now let's close with our prosperity prayer. God, Grant us a serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, the wisdom to know the difference, and the prosperity to afford it. Awesome. Hey, thanks so much for joining us and helping us to create and hold this space for healing and recovery. And please help us carry the message by subscribing to our channel and maybe sharing this video with others. And most important, keep coming back. Thanks. Have a great day.
God grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, courage to change the things we can, wisdom to know the difference, and the prosperity